Testing, testing, testing. JB here, June 27th, 2019. Just have a couple minutes here, only about 7 minutes to the open. First, I'll talk about Grubhub. Kind of consolidated yesterday after its monster move with the Citigroup upgrade the previous day. 78.31 or so was the high. Hopefully it gets through that today, and then I think it has a chance of getting into the 80s. Nice little state of the plate press release by Grubhub yesterday in regards to the sector and some of the trends. So certainly I think the sentiment, and there was a Piper Jeffrey, I think, was the analyst coming out this morning reiterating their Grub of I think it's $105 price target and buy rating. I think the trend of these analysts continuing to have reverse maybe their neutral ratings or some conservative outlooks on Grub, I think that's shifting now more to the bullish side. And they're starting to realize that this market is going to have a couple winners. It's not going to be one winner or two winners. There's the entire market for home food delivery and other opportunities are. It's a large market. It's going to continue to grow. A lot of the orders are organic, so I think that's going to bode well for Grub. And I think the valuation is it's undervalued here, I think. So I'll continue to look for opportunities. I may look for some weekly calls today. If it stays over 76 or so, I may look for some 80s, depending on what the prices look on the 80s or 81s. And then I may look to get some August 105, 110s to play into earnings. So that's Grubhub. United Health, not much to say there. You had Democratic debates last night. You had Bernie Sanders earlier this year talk about, actually a couple months ago, Medicare for all. What that does is takes these private insurers who've reaped the benefits of a private system for insurance. It takes these profit levers away. And once that happens, these names that have been on tears could come under some serious pressure. So we have, I guess, 10 more folks debating tonight. I think last night there was only a couple that said they're for the Medicare for all. A couple others are saying, hey, this private healthcare works, blah, blah, blah. We'll have to see how this all plays out tonight. But I think the continued talk around these names, it's not bullish in my opinion. So take a look at United Health. I was looking for the trend line to break. I think a 246 or so was the trend line. Broke under that, closed under 245, closed at 243.47. I think it has a chance to go into the mid 230s this week. So still have my puts, which are in the green. I was hoping to be able to close some out to cover cost. Hopefully I'll get another chance here today, and then I'll ride the rest for a possible move into the low to mid 230s. So that's United Health. Not much to say here about SSYS and BHC and HUYA. SSYS back over $25, recouping the losses from the previous session. BHC still going, and I think it's going to head 26, 27 in the coming days on the sympathy move with Allergen. Very similar models, lots of debts, growth slowing, competitive concerns, blah, blah, blah. So have to think that's going to continue to go higher, at least in my opinion. And then HUYA, rumors this morning or conversations, or I think the China Times or whatever came out saying that there's supposedly a truce in terms of the tariffs. Are going to hold off. The U.S. is going to hold off on these more tariffs, and that's kind of part of the process for the U.S. and China to get back into trade talks. The U.S. has to promise not to put add more tariffs. We have the G20 meeting starting tomorrow and Saturday. There's going to be more headlines. I put it on the watch list. I think at some point, and you take a look at the S&P, it's been down 4 days in a row. At some point, we're going to have some kind of squeeze, whether it's at the 290 level, which you hopefully it holds here today if we have any weakness like we did yesterday with a reversal of the futures. But if it holds, at some point we're going to have a squeeze, maybe over Monday, Tuesday. Maybe it's after a sell-off because there's no deal, and the G20 is just a complete, just a horrible outcome for the trade war. Who knows what that looks like, but I guess the point being is I'm certainly not going to be too aggressive on either side. I continue to hold some weekly put positions. I'll continue to have later dated call positions in those names that I just mentioned, BHC, HUYA, Grubhub, SSYS, and a Biomed, which unfortunately pretty much gave back the previous day's gains. I think at some point that's into the 300s, so I'll continue to hold my July strikes there. I may look for some other positions. Just a great story in the biotech, the med tech space, excuse me. that's about it. We have 2 minutes and about 10 seconds to open. I'll try and get back on audio later. Let's have a great day, folks. Rock and roll.